Good morning, good morning, good morning, Zambia. Good morning, South Africa. Good morning, Zimbabwe. Good morning, America. Good morning, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Botswana, and Namibia. I want to believe that this message, as it has been directed to Zambia, South Africa, and America, because of Hakainde Hichilema, Cyril Ramaphosa, and Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Also those who really need prayers the way I need them is Julius Malema and the Kasonde Mwenda. These are EFF leaders in Central Africa. Also Boka, the president of Botswana, who has demonstrated to be in line with the revelation that God gave me, that for Africa to sustain itself, it must own its natural resources, because those who are running the natural resources, they are not there to develop Zambia or any country in Africa, but they are there to demolish it. Also, the one that needs prayers is Traore, Ibrahim Traore, who actually has demonstrated to be a Moses of Africa, which I was searching for. And right now, I'm actually appealing to leaders in Africa to say, can you join hands with Traore? In all my messages, Esther night, I had a revelation. Let me say the previous night, because if I say Esther night, I may not really mean the same. Esther night, the previous night, we had the revelations similar. The revelation that I had is the same revelation that my wife had too. That dream warned me to say there are people who have organized themselves to attack me for the work that I'm doing. In the similar manner that I was arrested at UN, taken to Viscopis, allegingly that I'm mentally ill, because the things that I was revealing, they were against the superpowers. And the things that I'm talking now, they are still against the superpowers, because the superpowers, they are using our fellow black men to fight us, our fellow black men to accuse us of wrongdoing, when we are actually fighting their colonial system that is enslaving Africa. You may not understand what I'm saying, because the same blanket that giveth you the warmth that you need by night, the same blanket that giveth you a better sleep, the same jacket that you are putting that makes you look a gentleman, the same dress that you are dressing that makes you to look gorgeous, it is bought by donor aid, donor funds. Then you may not understand me, no matter how much I can speak, because my speech will sound as a person that is actually hitting on a finger that is feeding you. All those that are against me, they are actually promoting one thing: a denial to Africa independence. all those that they want to see me dead, they're actually denying true worship before God. Because the worship that is prevailing today, 99.9% of churches in the world, they are not giving glory to God. They are just what I can call a formality religion. Regardless, no matter how much they can preach about the coming of Jesus Christ, the second coming of Jesus Christ, their lifestyle, their dressing, their talking, their hair styles, they don't match with the word of God that they claim to defend. No matter how much they can threaten people to give tithe so that they can have blessings, poverty has continued increasing in the very families they are reaping money from. And the same families, they are ending up to become thieves in the name of religion. When we want to address that religion practically, they call names. An evangelist must not speak like that. Go back to the gospel. Which gospel should I go back to? The true gospel. Those who followed Jesus Christ, he provided food to them. When he tells them to say, sit down, who has food here? There's 2 fish. There's also bread. Those were multiplied for people to eat. Thousands of them they sat and ate. And when they were filled, they listened to God. But the church today, which we call gospel, now it is not wrong for a pastor to become a political leader and preach the gospel from the pulpit. It is not wrong. But for an evangelist to tell the nation to say, let us rally behind Ibrahim Traore, because Ibrahim Traore is bringing back the inheritance of our land as African. Our natural resources must be produced, utilized, processed within Africa. Then we have the large part of the cake. But as it is right now, Africa is not benefiting anything. Whatever Africa is benefiting from our natural resources, from investors, it's a lie. It does not meet the growing population, growing demand of our budget. Hence, you find that someone here was reading with his xenophobia allegations, reading the Constitution. No, the Constitution says that a foreigner, when he comes, he must have a permit, an application to go for the hospital, medical whatsoever, medical certificate. Who writes that Constitution? You find that even those in parliament, they don't know those articles. They just approve other constitutions that are drafted and implemented by their colonial masters. And they simply vote and say, yes, 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 yes. Constitutions that are dividing Africa to give advantage to people who are rarely coming in the name of investment, but coming to take our natural resources for free whilst we are sleeping. The education and the skills that we are being taught, they are not meant for us to open our eyes to know that the natural resources are the basis by which Europe is being built. America is being built. When you talk about Britain, you talk about the palace of Queen Elizabeth. These people, they build good buildings and they decorate them with our God. And us If God is found hanging anywhere around my house, I'll die in prison. The case that we always refer is the Mfumbwe saga. 50 people have to be gunned down, labeled as illegal miners, but who are legal? If Zambians are illegal to mine in their own land, who has a right to mine? So we are having a situation now that the plans to fight people who are opening people's eyes. My life has always been threatened. But there's a God, the one who has revealed to me that they're after me, placed in almost every road corner. It is the same God who is going to fight for me. The way he fought, but this time around, it's a different show. Because the grace where we need to pray when someone is doing wrong is God. I'm appealing to those who are listening to this video that you may share the video. Touch one, touch all. Those who know that God is there, they must stand with this ministry. I'm being denied protection by my own country, Zambia. I'm being offered protection by South Africa. But whilst I'm being exposed to arrest, to a false allegation of mental illness within South Africa, I cannot do my farming without frustrations, without bringing animals to destroy my crops, so that I remain a beggar for the rest of my life. My safety, though being protected, is not there. I'm even being denied of being a permanent resident, even after staying for more than 10 years. I was supposed to have permanent residence after 5 years. But because I applied in 2018, they changed to say, no, 10 years. Now I'm 10 years. When I go there, they say, no, your application is not there in the system. Because I must suffer as a refugee. Because being a refugee, you use an ID that only protects you from the police. It cannot even receive money in ShopRite. It cannot even buy a SIM card. But you have an ID. The only ID can do is for you to open a bank account and they chop your money without you having an access to the same money benefits of saying you can have interest or you can ask for a loan. Never. You are just a slave, but holding a what? A refugee ID. That's another way of persecuting us. In Africa, being refugees, it's an insult. Today, when you go to the hospitals, our lives are threatened in the hospitals in South Africa. Who is behind the protest of people against people who are actually holding papers, legal papers of staying in South Africa? They are denied access to the hospital. Hebrew Hospital was one of the hospitals where when we first lived in Joburg, my wife went to this clinic, they refused to help her. They tell her, come after next week, come again after next week. No one is there to help you, until someone told us to say, go to another clinic. We went to another clinic, we could not find help, until we ended up at Hebrew Hospital. That's where now they said, no, sorry. No, these people, they are not good. Let's help you. Let's backdate the injections that the child could not receive. So we found love in Hebrew hospital. Now, all these doctors and nurses that were not attending to us on these other clinics, they have heard the fame, the good attendance of people from other countries in Africa, from Hebrew hospital. Now they go and attack Hebrew hospital, not to attend for people who are of other nationality within Africa, because someone is funding such movements against the government of South Africa, against Cyril Ramaphosa, who made steps to unite Africa through the BRICS. And now I hear that he's also advancing towards Ibrahim Traore. Because of those decisions that he made, South Africa has raised equally against him. Even when a good decision has been made by Mkwanazi to announce the corruptions that are hindering the progress of development in South Africa, that are denying justice for people, even like me as a refugee. I've gone through what Mkwanazi has been explaining. But now, the same people that are fighting Ramaphosa, they have hijacked Mkwanazi's revelation, and they want to force in Ramaphosa in those revelations until Ramaphosa must give up, so that they maintain the slavery of our mind. The information and the news that we listen every day is about us getting busy fighting against each other, us getting busy fighting and having hatred. The news that we are listening every day is us getting misunderstanding, labeling the president as corrupt, labeling everyone as corrupt. We have videos today. Instead of listening to what is happening about our economy, why does our economy fail to perform? We cannot listen. This what I want to put across. You remember last time when I mentioned that I want to have a 90 days national prayer for Africa. Immediately when I started, I just overheard that also the SDA church, they have 40 days national prayer, also maybe world prayer whatsoever. But the point which I'm trying to bring to you, to your understanding, is that whenever truth has to be preached, those who are holding falsehood, they have also the similar things that they want to dilute their attention. Because if they don't put their crusade or their national prayer for 40 days, that means the people have a chance to listen to what I'm talking about. So they have to create something different and something similar to what I'm talking about, to capture their followers, to keep them busy so that they cannot listen to what is happening. The 90 days Revolution African National Prayer, also the Adventists also having their 40 days, because they have a following. They are capturing the attention. Now they have no message. They even reach at a point now they are advertising the interiors of the good churches that they are building in this 40 days prayer. Looking at what they are trying to fight. Indirect, they are fighting an evangelist who doesn't have a church, who doesn't have a building. I have the message, not buildings. People who can listen to this message, they must know that I'm not fighting anyone. But I want to tell you to say, when we talk about the devil, when you talk about Satan, when you talk about Antichrist, as I alluded in the last video, to say HH Antichrist agent, it's not an insult. I know that UPND, they are fuming because of that statement. They are even calling about cyber law must take its place. I found even a threat in my comments regarding to say you need to be answerable to your accusation against HH. Answerable to who? I'm a servant who is speaking God's will. If you think you can crush me, you can eat me alive, you can do whatsoever you do, there is a God who created me and you. And that God is the best judge, and he will reward you accordingly to his grace and judgment. Why is it people, they resist the truth? It is because they are funded by donor funds. Someone was telling me to say there's a CDF, Central fund. When you boast about money that is given to you from EU, European Union, World Bank, and IMF, you say that the president is performing because there's a CDF which can give you what? Credit. That is, I don't know what I can say, ignorance of the highest level. Godwin Kumbula, when Chiluba came into power, and there was everything in the market, the mesme which was withdrawn deliberately by our superior donor countries to create Kaunda as a monster who is not able to provide food. They were buying everything offshore. Sugar, no sugar in the country. Immediately when Chiluba won, there was sugar. There was even Coca-Cola, which was not even seen. There was everything, pineapple, everything, condensed milk, which was long gone. Then Godwin Kumbula said, if your father goes and gets a loan, since you have been a family, he has never bought 2 bags of maize meal. He has never bought sugar in abundance and bread and everything. But after getting a loan, he comes and buys everything. 2 bags or 3 bags of maize meal, he puts them there. Maybe perhaps he was buying the sachets for fish oil. Even a bottle, he could rarely buy a bottle. By that day, he brings maybe 5 containers of 5 liters. And he brings all what you think you can eat, even chicken. He fills the fridge. Even when there was no fridge, he brings the fridge, a bigger one. Put the food, put the drinks. Then you call yourself you are rich. You are deceiving yourself, you are not rich. Because what you are claiming to be riches, it's a loan. And that money, when it is going to be required, you even lose the house that you even built with your own money. They killed him just because of that statement. He was killed, he was shot on his head in the same car with the son of late President Chiluba, who was bandaged as if he was also injured, falsely brought to South Africa as if he's coming for what? For medical checkup. That report over that incident, it just went. No one has been arrested even today. His car was just pushed in the river. How can the person who has been found with a bullet shoot from the back, meaning that the one who shot him was a passenger within in his car, and after shooting him, they pushed the vehicle in the what? In the river. Politics of hatred, politics of killing people who are telling you the truth. There are a lot of leakages of an audio today that the Zambian government is trying to portray that is AI generated, when AI cannot speak Bemba. Get me what? I use AI to speak and record something. When you speak any name that is not English, it does not recognize that word. But today I must sit down and listen to a defense that no, the one who was sent to South Africa, he was not sent to go and bribe the judges. This one was just an accusation. And moreover, it is only this man who claims that is the one who did the audio. He says, I was only given the voice of the man for me to do what? To formulate it, to crown it, to be to be someone who was speaking, but I didn't know the one who was being framed. Meaning that this person is saying that the voice of the woman is truly the actual voice. You only did only one voice. So it means that discussion is 100% true. Because if all voices were formulated, were crowned, then you could say, fine, there's a benefit of doubt. Meaning that this voice of the woman is actually the same woman who was not in agreement with what is it Chavinga was doing on behalf of the president. So when these issues are being tackled, anyone who wants to criticize the president on things that is answerable, they want to kill. No one must speak against Hakainde Hichilema. In the same audio system, the same person who linked says, actually, Hakainde Hichilema has more than 150 intelligence officers trained by CIA, the American, based on the American base, which I've been saying that American base is the one that is actually killing people in Zambia in the name of saying they are soldiers. Soldiers from where? Who have no remorse to kill the miners. When we are talking like this, it is not because we hate someone. We don't hate anyone. We are simply saying, Africa, open your eyes. Even you, who is being sent to kill people for speaking the truth, your day is coming. And very soon, even when you are heading towards me, something must happen to you. So that if you want to die, you are saved. But you must know that there's a God in heaven. I'm standing in the shoes of Elijah. I'm standing in the shoes of Jeremiah. I'm standing in the shoes of Micaiah to warn African leaders to say, don't make Africans to suffer in their own land because of money, because of donor funding. Don't deceive us that you are bringing development when you are talking about investors. They are never investors. They are our new colonial masters. And to end up with this economical slavery, we need leadership that is going to understand, one, the law of God. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love God with all your heart. These 2 commandments that Christ gave us, they summarize the 10 commandments. If a leader who goes into State House, more especially in the government of Zambia that has been warned from 1990 up to date, you go without observing the 10 commandments yourself and without recognizing the ministry of God, I've no apologies to tell you. Perhaps there's something I can read here so that you can understand. Chiluba was warned. He never listened. Manawasa was warned. He never listened. Lupia was warned. He never listened. Sata was warned. He never listened. Lungu was warned. He never listened. And now, the person who is not dead, he does not want to listen. Perhaps because another grave has been dug already. I want to appeal to you to say, as long as God still speaks through me, President Hakainde Hichilema has a rough way to go. Unless God has stopped speaking. I don't hate him. I'm obsessed with his rejection of truth. Because I spoke to Hakainde Hichilema before he became president in 2008. He is the one who called me, not only once, but more than twice in 2008. After I fled to slavery, I realized that he was not answering to what I was sending him on Messenger and on SMS on his phone. His phone was not on WhatsApp, but the wife's phone was on WhatsApp. If I would need to send a long message, I was sending through the wife's number, but there was no response. I went as further as sending to the servant the same message. I went further to send it to Mwale, who was the security personnel for Hakainde Hichilema. The last time I sent the message to Mwale, it was the time when I had finished designing the covers for these 12 books. And that's when I received a positive answer from Mwale. I'm not talking things from the blues or trying to accuse Hakainde Hichilema. Hakainde Hichilema knows my God. Hakainde Hichilema knows exactly what I'm speaking about. But those who are just there to insult me, they think that I'm looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking to save you, the one who is insulting me. Your children are going to suffer. Even if you try, if God would permit you to do your evil thinking against me, if he permits you, I tell you, you'll be like King Saul, who was going to be crying for Saul to talk to him when things have turned upside down. I'm crying even for South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. Him also does not want to listen to me. And his people around him, they protect him. Like here, like I can look for employment with my refugee status to work in union building. Never. But they don't want for him to listen to the truth. They surround him with lies. I want to tell you to say, as much as God speaks to me, I'll continue speaking. Even in my grave, I'll continue speaking. I know someone here has a bitter heart, breathing fire, because I'm touching on what puts food on your table. Don't be selfish. It puts food on your table, but there are many children out there who are orphans, whose parents have been killed by these governments. They don't have food. They cannot go to school. They cannot meet their daily needs. There are people there who are aged, who cannot be fed by the very people who are working in the government. I was so shocked when I saw a picture that the UPND government using the media, which is called Muzungu Wanu, Muzungu wa Mkombo ni Wanu, where a white man, they say that is IA. Why using a white man? A colonizer. They showed the village to say these are the parents for Edgar Lungu and the brother to him. When I looked at the homes that they were living, then I think of a president who has served 7 years, who could not have enough to build the parents' homes. The same applies with Mwanawasa. Mwanawasa's mother, she was bent when she was using a public transport, a taxi, which we call a taxi here, a minibus, with a container for petrol. The mother to the president using a public transport. Chiluba's father came. He was there in John Lane. When I looked at him, I was talking to him. came to an Adventist church at John Lake. I said, indeed, this one is a father to Chiluba. Coming to beg to meet his son. You look at what is happening with our president. The reason is simple. The monies that they are given, they are not meant to help their family members. Once they build a house for their parents, they are arrested that they are thieves. So they fear to do anything in their homeland because it is not their money. It is donor aid. And when we are calling to say, Africa, can you reject America? Can you reject Britain? Can you reject all these other countries? Can you reject even the AFRICOM and the base, the military base? Thank God I hear that Botswana president wants to remove the military, the military base for America. May God bless him for that decision. If there is no AFRICOM or American com for Zambia in America, why having AFRICOM here? Just by using AFRICOM, then you think that it's African. It's not African. It's American com. We need to put our AFRICOM there. They must bring our American com here, 50-50. But let them explain what is AFRICOM or American com doing in Zambia. What is their role? What are we benefiting? Apart from them digging tunnels to loot our resources, which we are not even aware where they are, but they have the map. On page 10 of this letter that I've been reading, I've just picked a few points. I won't read it, the whole of it. Listen to what I said. Second paragraph. On the file that is filed before the High Court in Pretoria, it's page 120. I said, I urge you, Mr. Mwanawasa, in the loving name of Jesus, to listen to God now, not tomorrow, for there is no need to prove the strength of the frog that lifted you up 3 times. Nineveh was spared when it heeded to God's messenger. So, when I was appealing to Mwanawasa, in a similar manner that I'm being insulted, I'm appealing to Hakainde Chilema. I'm appealing to Ramaphosa to say, listen to God's messenger. You can put your house in order. I appealed to Zuma. They never listened to me. Instead, my emails were hacked. And I can't have access to my emails. When the truth is said, truth is offensive to those that need to be saved. If Mwanawasa listened, God was going to save his life. I'm a living testimony. I'm a living testimony. There are many people that can confess today. If money is offered to say anyone who has been given poison to put in his food, come forth, we'll give you 100,000. They'll come and collect that money. Even 100,000 is too much. Even 10,000, they'll come and collect it because they're after money. Even those who are planted there at Viscopis to kill me, they'll come and confess. So now, if Hakainde is listening, and you, an agent of Hakainde, you are listening, if you sit on this video to block it from reaching him, yourself, you meet the wrath of God. If anyone is listening on behalf of Cyril Ramaphosa, you don't tell him that there's a solution for your threatened leadership. I hear a report that you are planning to go into exile because you are facing an international arrest. As Mentesh has been arrested, they're after your life. And Zuma also is standing up against all those allegations. I want to warn him that let him not be excited. They are after him also because they cannot allow Zuma to rule because they know that Zuma can chase all the colonial masters. My prayer is for these leaders to find a solution. They must consult God. Not everything I can talk about here. They must receive the dedication from God's blessing. From this hand that you see, it must give you the transformation of life. You become a cyborg against your enemies. When they want to kill you, they find you alive because there will be strength that is above the strength, ordinary strength in this world. A strength that's above a bullet. A strength that is above poisoning. That's what you need. Any president that wants to take over from Hakainde Hichilema must subject himself to my God. Yes, someone was bragging, hey, your God. We also have our God. You have your God. What has God done to you, which you can demonstrate? What has God foretold that you can demonstrate? I'm here seated, willing. If you want, ask Hakainde who is living. Ask Mrs. Christian Kaseva who is serving in Hakainde as an ambassador. Ask Mwamba who is on his podcast. If he doesn't know me, that I told about the fate of his president, his boss, CRS, and his death. Ask them. They'll tell you. Mianda, if he's still around, I gave them my letter. Even Venon Mwanga. Ask them. I was there in Unipi. I entered Freedom House, warning them. That is my evidence that my God, if he declares something, it will come to pass. And by this time, I'm saying that I'm available for anyone who thinks he can take over from Hakainde Hichilema, or else the graves will continue multiplying there at Presidential Embassy Park, where they are burying. Already, there's a grave here in South Africa. The possibility of Lungu being buried here is very high because Hakainde Hichilema has refused to involve me in this matter. And instead, he wants to use money to bribe judges in South Africa so that they can command that the board must come so that he can preside over his board. There are a lot of speculations that if a Freemason can sniff on a person who has been popular, you get the powers from him. And that is the reason why I was asking you to say, can we discuss this matter? That is the reason why I was saying that, why can't you let Lungu be buried without you coming closer to the grave? Because there is a speculation that, one, you are a Freemason, because Freemasons are practicing openly in Zambia. And I've written about it, and I can assert to that speculation to say it is true. A leader is identified with the characteristics of the behavior of the community. If in the community people started drinking blood without a leader stopping them, you know that it is the leader actually who is drinking blood. We have Chiluba, who I've referred to. When Universal Church started drinking blood of human sacrifices, human urine, eating flesh, when it was exposed, Chiluba banned and closed the church immediately to show that he was not part of it. It came with democracy. All these rights came with what? Democracy. And if Hakainde is not part of the white gloves that he puts often, which is the gloves for Freemason, he must ban Freemason openly. If Hakainde is not supporting those people who promote homosexuality, he must actually arrest them and give them life sentence. Then we say that is a clean man. But as long as he remains quiet, he's part of the system. Mr. Hakainde Chilema, I'm telling you to save you. Don't send people to come and rob the family, the happiness they are enjoying. It's a warning from God. Send people to seek prayers for you. The only advice I'm giving to all those that I've mentioned in my discussion is that seek God's face. Seek for prayer. Seek for the anointment. I've demonstrated from my childhood, when I was 19, that God speaks not to kill, but to warn, to save you from the grave, as I've read on this statement. What else do you want me to say for you to understand that there's God in heaven? I'm appealing to all African countries that what I said in this book is it page 100? On page 100 of this book, I said, let's wait and see, for a new king rose which knew not Joseph. Then Israel went to bondage. I want to explain one thing here. The Bible, which God said I must call it as the book of truth, the book of prophets, it was used to teach us to be humble and pray, which is a good thing. But it has never been given to us to understand that it is prophetical and its writings are significant. Those who are condemning the book of truth to say it has been used as a colonial master's tool, yes, I agree. And it must be abandoned completely. We must go back to spiritualism because it was used. No. The cup that is used to kill you, they put poison in the cup. Then you receive and drink and think that you are drinking a drink or water, but there's poison. The problem is not the cup and the water, but the problem is the one who added in poison in that water, in that drink. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. What was wrong, it is the presentation of the Bible. Because the Bible also talks about slavery on the years that the children of Israel lived. From there, it speaks of the rescue operation. That's why this book is called The Rescue Operation. Okay? Meaning that God has seen that Africa has been enslaved. So then it provides a rescue operation to remove, the way Moses removed the children of Israel from slavery is a similar procedure today that we need to be removed from this democracy, multi-party democracy of dependence on donor aid, which is a highway to slavery. So when I'm speaking against a leader who thinks that I'm against him, I'm not against the leader. I'm simply against with this multi-party democracy, which is leading many African countries to think that they are rich because they have been given CDF. The funds that are obtained from EU, from America, and America has turned down all the offers of those agreements, leaving other few countries sustaining the economy. And I can even tell, if I post my video, I put Donald Trump, no one reads, the few people that reads that video, because they hate Donald Trump for cutting what? Aid. In this book, I actually said, Joseph, by then, you know, when you are given a dream, there are times when names are withheld. You can't know who is exactly that Joseph. You only see to say, oh, this is Joseph. As I already said, to say, we know that Hakainde Hichilema is in Satanism, Freemason, and he supports homosexuality because he does not stop Freemason from performing publicly. He does not arrest those who are accused of Sodom and Gomorrah. So meaning that the silence is in support, is in agreement. So I came to know that Barack Obama was the Joseph when he won the elections. Oh, this is the man who is the Joseph, according to the identity of Joseph that I read in this book. When you read this book, you won't find Barack Obama here. You won't find Trump here. But you only find Joseph and a new king. That is the names of the system that are prevailing today, which I saw and wrote in this book in 2002. You only find Obama where? In volume 3. In this book. In this book, where's the other one which has a better cover? Fine. You can see that I kept the original script. You only find Obama in these books, in this book, The Pigpen Predicament, which I published in 2010, after 1 year of Obama's what? See, victory. And in the same book, that's where I actually explained exactly what was going to do what was going to happen, because I now had understanding exactly of what I wrote in volume 1. So now, let me read here. As I was interpreting, that is page 110, 111. I said the rise of Obama is as written in reference to Joseph, a slave from Canaan, Africa, who served in Egypt, that is America, and later became a governor, president in a foreign land. I challenge all those who rejected my visions and writings in the first and second volumes as a mere myth to look out for the aftermath of President Obama's fall. Thus shall usher us as slaves in the pigpen predicament. Listen to this. I said, Obama's fall shall usher us into the pigpen predicament of slavery. Immediately when Obama left power, who came in? Who came in is, let me continue. If prohibition shall linger for you to repent after this prophecy comes to pass, then you have a chance to repent. But if prohibition shall be closed for individuals at the time of the fulfillment, as what happened to Noah's rescue operation through the ark, then you shall find yourself outside the promised city. So then, yes, here's where I talked about Moses. On the last statement on my page 112 here, the last statement, if perhaps I can subject this, you can see it from the writings. Look at the last statement. I want you to read on your own. Then I'll go through the last statement after I looked at it. I believe you have seen it. On the last statement, I said, Joseph saw the rescue operation by the hand of God under the hand of Moses from slavery. So this is what I'm actually preaching today. To say the leadership of Obama was followed by the hand of Moses to rescue the children of Israel from slavery. Meaning that immediately after Joseph, as I was even written in many statements here, after Joseph, there was a new king who never recognized who? Who never recognized Joseph. This new king is Donald Trump. And it is clearly, you can Google, from the time Donald Trump became president, they have never met with who? With Obama. And Donald Trump, when he came, all the agreements that Obama did with African countries, he did not recognize them. He cut aid, which is written in this book. So now, if I'm telling you to say, my God is a God who speaks what is in your mind, I've talked to you, listen, you are planning to put people on every corner of the street to trap me and do evil to me. God has shown me. But I want to tell you to say your days are numbered. It is not time to fight the messenger. It's time to do what the message says. It's not time to kill the messenger. It's time to kill your lifestyle, your partnership with the Vatican. Kill it before you come to me. Stop that. Africa right now is under turmoil. Every country where they want to join hands with Traore, they are protesting against the government because those protesters are receiving funding from our colonial masters that are posing in our countries as investors. Those investors, they have easy access to the people around us and raise a rebellion against everything that is done by the president. The rebellion against Cyril Ramaphosa is a deliberate move because Cyril Ramaphosa is leading South Africa to a right direction, even when he was not understanding it. But now it looks like he has accepted to run the BRICS. All the president, when we tell them, they don't listen. But when they see where they are seated, it becomes hot. That's when they want to do right things at the last minute. As I began, I said, can we pray for EFF leader? Because even these who are raising the protest against Cyril Ramaphosa, against Zuma, they don't love Julius Malema. They don't love him. They only love him now because he is one of the most powerful influencer. If he's talking against Cyril Ramaphosa, a vote of no confidence will be given in parliament, and Cyril Ramaphosa will fall. Immediately when Cyril Ramaphosa will fall, they shall turn and call Julius Malema to say he's also from Zimbabwe. They will campaign against him that when you vote you vote for EFF leader, is going to make this South Africa to belong to Zimbabwe, so that they maintain the power which won't promote African unity. May God bless you. May God bless you.